Hey everyone, it's Allison from Determined to Shine, where we use the magic formula of creativity, spiritual connection, and community to bring forth joy in our lives, especially during hard times. And I'm feeling joyful today because guess what? It's favorites time! Favorites time! Okay, sorry, I get a little excited about favorites time, as many of you know. So, of course, the goal is that once a month I come on and show you all of my favorite things that I've been playing with that month, from books I've read to, tarot and oracle decks I'm using and whatever else strikes my fancy. I did really well for a while when I first launched my YouTube channel, and November and December of 2020 were a little crazy because of the holidays, so I did a combined video. And then I have not done a favorites video since then. And of course, that's what, January, February, March, April. Oh, 4 months later, here we are. I had the best of intentions, but my life got a little crazy. And I want to say a couple of things changed, but really everything has changed. And that's probably a story for another day. But what I can say right now is that I'm feeling really good, and I'm feeling better than I have in a while. I did make a move to about 90 minutes away across the state of Wisconsin, so you can see I'm in a new space just for you to share all my favorite things with you. Some of them are sitting here, so sneak peek. I could have put them out of the frame, but I didn't, so there you go. So I am just calling this Ultimate Favorites. I'm going to share with you my most favorite things from the past 4 months and try to distill it as best I can. So there's a little more than usual, but there's less per month. I didn't divide it up at all, actually. It's just my stuff from the last 4 months, and hopefully we can get back on track for May. So that said, let's dive right in. So we're going to start with books, because that is where I always start, with books I have read. So the first one I want to talk about is The Scorpio Races by Maggie Stiefvater. And I don't have a copy of that to show you because I read it on my Kindle. And I did talk about it way back in my December favorites that I had just started it. And that I really felt like it was opening up reading for me again, especially reading fiction and reading for fun. And boy, did it ever. That book sang to my soul. And it was the most I'd liked anything in a really long time, until the book I read next. Well, a little bit later. I'll get to that in a second. But anyway, Scorpio Races. It's this, fictional narrative that takes place in a world that's somewhat like our own, but somewhat not. There's mythical water horse creatures that race, and it's actually been several months now, so I'm like, what's that book about? Does that happen to you guys? Do you read something and you're like, oh, I love this, and you kind of forget it already? I hate it when that happens. It's not that I've forgotten it. The book made me want to read again, and it made me excited about living again. And if you like fantasy that's grounded in a bit of reality, I think you might really like it. It is the basis for Maggie Stiefvater's Scorpio Sea Tarot. And I bought this. I'll be honest, I read the book. I looked up and chose to read The Scorpio Races because I wanted to look at this deck and I wanted to see how they went together. And there are a few decks out there that are based on fiction books, and I don't like to use the deck if I haven't read the book. It's just a little bit of a weird thing for me. So I will show you this deck a bit. Interestingly enough, so the guidebook is written by Melissa Sanova, who is the fabulous tarot magician behind Kitchen Table Tarot and Tarot Elements and Kitchen Table Magic, maybe. I think she has 3 books. And this. And I found that interesting because Maggie Stiefvater, of course, wrote the novel, but chose to have someone else write the guidebook. And then again, interestingly enough, Maggie Stiefvater, the author, did the art for the cards. So she is an artist as well. So we have the card back. This is a Llewellyn published deck, so that's kind of the standard inside of the box, very standard Llewellyn presentation these days. The book is, of course, one of those really beautiful full color books that they have done a lot of lately. And the art is really very, very simple. But the deck didn't tie to the novel as closely as I really honestly had hoped that it would. But it does feel like the story felt. And so when I use this deck, even though when I read the guidebook, it doesn't really tie to the novel in the ways I wanted it to, some cards do. Like, I can see the characters and the stories come alive in here. And I just feel like I'm in that world. And so I have enjoyed this deck. I actually haven't done a ton of readings with it. I'm not sure why that guy was backwards. Thought I got it all back in order. But I've really enjoyed reading the guidebook. There were just some like neat insights, and I really love Melissa's writing in general. So this deck has been a win for me. It's very different aesthetically than anything else that I have or read with. Not that I have, but that I love. But I've just really enjoyed it. So 2 thumbs up for Scorpio C. I don't know if I would like it as much if I hadn't read the book. Like, I'll just be honest about that. But I love tie-ins. I love pop culture. You guys know that about me. So, you know, that's where we are. Okay. So that was Scorpio Races. The next book I want to talk about is Circe by Madeline Miller. And I don't have a copy of that book to show you either because I listened to it on an audiobook. And I listened to it while making the drive back and forth as I was moving across the state, which I'm actually still in the process of doing. I moved in, but I still have a few things back in my old home, so I get to go there right after I finish this video. Who's excited? Not me. Favorites time is more fun than moving. Stretching out the favorites video. Okay, sorry. Okay. I don't feel like editing today, so we're just leaving it all in. Okay. Circe by Madeline Miller. This is a retelling of the Greek goddess / witch, Circe. She is the goddess kind of witches. Some might say the first witch, daughter of Helios, the god of the sun. Wow. I've always loved Greek mythology. Greek mythology, particularly Aphrodite, for whatever reason, well, actually for a very specific reason, but that's a whole other story, Greek mythology is what first felt like magic to me, what felt like spirituality to me. I remember learning about Greek mythology as a child in school, and the gods and goddesses came alive for me in very real ways that I didn't understand or put together until much later in life. And as I have walked my spiritual path and kind of, I want to say, expanded into more things, but also expanded inward, like I really feel like I've returned to myself in a lot of ways over the last year. I've done a lot of goddess work, and so that's really just something I love. And Circe, the book, pulled everything together for me in some really cool ways. Like, it's just this beautifully written novel that is honestly magic start to finish. It won a whole bunch of awards, and they are all deserved. For me, probably the best book I've read in a decade. And I can't, it just made my heart sing. Like, if Scorpio Races opened me up, Circe was like, I just loved everything about this book, and it made me hunger for the end of a story in a way I hadn't in a really long time. Like, I read through it so much faster than normal. Like, I was still listening to audiobook when I wasn't in the car, which is very rare for me. Most of the time I abandon audiobooks. But I've really found them to be very helpful with the way that I learn and absorb a story. So I'm reading more and more that way. But yeah, Circe captured me the way that Harry Potter did the first time I read them. Or, excuse me, no edits. Here we go. Honestly, the way the Hunger Games trilogy did. I read those long before the movies, and those sang to me too, but those books are old at this point. So, Circe was amazing and has kind of helped me come back to mythology in really exciting and fun ways too. So, everybody go read Circe or listen to it or whatever. So those are my two big novels. I have been reading some nonfiction as well that I loved. The first one I want to share is I've just been on this kind of like witchier path lately, and I've talked about that some before, and it's still like a weird term to use for me. I don't know that I'm fully embracing it, especially publicly. Like, hi, I don't know what everything means to me, but I know that when I am working with the elements and the cards and Reiki energy and all those things, I feel more like myself than I have since I was a very little girl. So, on that note, I read the Modern Witchcraft Grimoire, and this is actually a book about creating your own Book of Shadows. And so, like what goes in a Book of Shadows and all those things. So you guys, some of you saw my Harry Potter Book of Shadows video where I showed some like pages from the Witch's Moon. This book is all about how you'd create something from scratch and what you might put in it and what it might mean to you. And it's really, you know, some people might think of it as a spell book, and whether it's that literal or not gets to totally be up to you. For me, it's a place to record the things that matter to me, and in almost like half journal, half scrapbook, half artsy collagey thing. Like, I'm still figuring it out. But this book I really enjoyed in terms of breaking down like what you might include. It has everything from like how to organize it, what kind of book you might use, what you should put inside it, what feels good. So if you are wanting to create something like that and the witchy path in particular really appeals to you, I highly recommend this book. I got a few different books like this, and this was by far my favorite. And I really just love the author. Sky Alexander has written some goddess books and other things as well, and I just really love her writing style. And the other book I read is The Witch's Wand, and this is from Llewellyn. It's by, I don't know if I'm going to be able to say that, Alfarian Gwydion Maclear. That's a Celtic name if there ever was one. Oh, sorry, he's a British druid. I messed that up. So this is about the history of wands and how people used them in mythology, how people use them now, and all of that kind of thing. And I find that really fun just to learn about. I love the history of all of this stuff. And as I make magic come alive for myself in my own way, right? Like, I grew up loving and reading all the magical tales of, you know, anything from certainly Narnia to Harry Potter, though that came later, but any book that had any magic that I could find. There was an author named Ruth Chu who wrote a whole bunch of like early reader books about witches and magic and time travel and all these things, and I loved that stuff, and I still love that stuff. I love it in my fiction, and I love it in reality in the ways that I can make it exist. And that sounds really funny, but you know, I attended this past weekend a virtual scrapbooking online event because I've loved scrapbooking for like 20 years. Wow, I'm getting older, friends. And they talked about scrapbooking as a way of time travel, right? Like that we're going back in time with our photographs, and through our scrapbooks and our memory albums, like we're living those moments again. We can do that in meditation, right? Like we can look at a past event when we're doing shadow work, when we're journaling. So while we're not getting in a time machine, or I'm not like waving a wand and saying abracadabra magic, I do believe that magic is all around us, and if only we are willing to look. That's a sort of a famous quote by someone, and I don't know who, but I botched the quote anyway, so it's fine. It's totally fine. So, yeah, those were the books I read, and I just really love exploring these things from like a historical lens and a traditional lens, and figuring out what those things look like for me, if they look like anything, right? Like, it's just fun. So anyway, moving, this translates beautifully, segues, whatever, into some memories I want to share. So because I have a wand to show you, which sounds funny, but so I did a full moon ritual last month. Was it last month? This is April. Yes, I did a full moon ritual in March with Athena Parakis of SageGoddess.com, and Athena is rapidly becoming one of my favorite, like, spiritual teacher, mentor type people that are out there. I'm really enjoying both her online store that took a lot of my money in the last 4 months while I got beautiful things. And she has really neat online classes, both paid and free. So she offered a free full moon ritual workshop that was streamed live on YouTube, and it was and then there was a crafting section, and everyone decorated like wands, like a crystal selenite wand, and you could buy the kit from her, which I did, but you didn't have to. And so it started like just as this is the back side of it. It's just like a flat piece of selenite crystal, and then wrapped this sari ribbon around it. Sorry, it's like getting twisted in my hand. I added the pink, she had the orange. And then we got to decorate it with crystals. So this is what mine looked like. This is an amethyst, and then it has moonstone, rhodochrosite, and pyrite dust. And what was really cool is, like, I was able to put some intention and personal goals and like those kind of things into the crystals as I glued them on. And then I created this like beautiful thing, and I was so excited about it that I posted on Instagram for the first time in like I think like 4 years. Getting Instagram going is one of my 2021 goals. We'll get there. And then I actually won. They did a wand decorating contest, and I was chosen as one of the winners. So that was really fun and affirming for me. And, you know, this isn't a wand that I'm going to like point at things and do spells with, but it does have symbolism and magic in it for me. And I've just been keeping it in my sacred space. And it's just kind of a reminder of where I've been, where I'm going, and what I want for myself out of the next year. And I think it's really pretty, and I love crystals, and I love wands because they're fun. So I'm just really enjoying everything about this. So that's like my first memory to share. In addition to, I just check my list here. Oh, some fun memories. So I turned 40. And I have such mixed feelings about turning 40. It's an age, right? Like, it feels both wildly young and wildly old to me. I don't feel like I'm quite at the midpoint yet. I think a lot of people look at 50 as the midpoint. I'm not sure. My goal is to live to be at least 90, or I like to say 91, because that's kind of, a lot of really powerful, amazing women in my personal family have died at 91, so I'm like, I'd be okay with that. So like 45.5 would be my halfway point. But as I approach the middle, I just had a lot of time to reflect on a lot of things, particularly as it was happening in the midst of a move and in the midst of changes in my life and relationships, and some heartbreak, and just a time to think about, like, it's really easy for people to feel old when they turn a new age, be it 40, be it, I remember feeling really old at 25 because I felt like I had to be a grown-up now and I couldn't act like a kid anymore. Joke's on me. I totally still love being like a child. More on that coming soon. You know, and so it's so easy to feel like you're too old for things, and it's also easy to feel like there's still lots of time. Like, yes, And you know, a lot of my friends are younger than I am. And so there's a tendency in my circle to feel really old sometimes. But in a lot of ways, I still feel really young. Like, I'm not even halfway. And like the first 20 years were just spent like turning into an adult person. So like, if you count only the adult years, I'm like, you know, barely started. And so, it was just an exciting time, I guess. I am going to share two of the presents I got because they were magical. So my friend Liz, who is also my new roommate, I moved into her basement and hung things on her walls and filled it with candles and books and tarot decks. She gave me this for my birthday with a few other things, but this is the really magical piece, and it was so well timed, right? Because I was wanting to make a Book of Shadows. Obviously, I talked about the book that I read earlier, and if you watched my Harry Potter Book of Shadows video, that is a wooden engraved 5x7 album, and you heard me say, oh, I just wish I had something bigger for more things. Well, dun dun dun, here it is. It's personalized. It is this beautiful 3-ring binder. I don't have anything in it right now because I am still putting it together, and because that will be the subject of a future video, not this one. But this is amazing and feels so special to me, and it's special because it's beautiful, it's personalized, and because it was a present. And I really believe when you give someone a present, especially a magical present, there's so much like magic infused in it, right? Because of that love. Like, so if someone gives me a crystal, I find it to be more powerful than when I buy myself. Whether that is real or perceived, I think is fairly irrelevant. But I love feeling into the love in things like that. The other one I just have to show you is I got this, it's made of polymer clay. It is a hair, and it is a rainbow hair. This was from my bestie, and it's so pretty. You guys have heard me talk about bears and bunnies being my two like most spiritual connections, and particularly lately the hair with the moon, and I love rainbows, and so it's so precious and perfect, and I love it so much. Thank you, Stephanie. So yeah, I just love it, and I wanted to show it to you. That's all. It's my favorites video. You guys are the ones who like watching me like show you all the things. So that's one of the things. Other memories to talk about. Obviously, the moving has been very interesting. But amidst that, we had a couple of awesome Determined to Shine retreats. And so those are continue to just be magical transformational events. Particularly the one we had just a couple weeks ago for April was pretty fantastic. I was feeling very like strong in my new space, so we did a lot of awesome things, and I just loved it as always, and was able to make a couple of special Determined to Shine announcements to that group, which you guys will get access to soon. I have not had a good website up for many, many months. When life gets a little crazy, it gets hard sometimes. Like, it gets hard sometimes, right? Like, that is why I started Determined to Shine, because life, not always shiny at all. Like, sometimes life is a giant poop, and it was a giant poop for a long time for me. It's been off and on, but there were a couple of months, the beginning of this year was very difficult, and then as I reflected on the past year, just how challenging certain parts of that have been for me. So it's been really good to kind of feel myself coming back to myself and having fun with retreats. And so, point being, the website is nearly done. It is coming soon, and you will be able to find all kinds of magical fun things. I use the word magic all the time to mean all kinds of things. So just know that. But we will have upcoming art journaling retreats. I have some really neat classes coming up, including one on how to use crystals in a lot of cool ways. I like to show a lot of crystals. I'm going to be showing more coming up, and people ask me about it all the time. And so many of the books out there just teach you like, oh, you know, this stone is for love. And that's all fine and good, but like, what do you do with the crystal? So I'm excited to be sharing more about that coming up. We also had a Reiki Master retreat that blew my mind, like getting to kind of christen the first generation of Determined to Shine Reiki Masters was an honor, and people just blew my mind. So I will put information below on how to sign up for Reiki trainings. That is out there already. I have a combined Reiki 1 and 2 training coming up, and then I do have a Reiki Master training coming up. And you are eligible to take Reiki Master if you've been at Reiki level 2 for at least 6 months. It does not have to have been taught by me. You could take my Reiki Master anywhere you've had, as long as you've taken Reiki 1 and 2. And if you have no idea what Reiki is or what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. Or check the links. It's just a very life-changing spiritual practice, I guess I will say. So, I'm doing all the things these days, you guys. It's really neat to see so many things coming together. So as I mentioned, things got hard, and I think one of the best ways to deal with hard things, well, there are a few, right? So, one, again, why Determined to Shine exists. So that's creativity, spiritual connection, community. So that's really what I'm doing when I make the videos, when I lead retreats, like we're putting all that together. But also, all of this is to bring forth joy. And I love being able to be joyful. Like I really believe as a human, my default setting is joy. So if I'm not living in a joyful state, that's a good indicator to me that something is wrong. And that's a thing I really learned this past year. But I'm all about it, just doing silly things, because for me, being silly is very joyful. And when I created my last favorites videos back in December, one of the categories I introduced that would be a regular feature in the favorites video is things I did for my inner child. So I have a few. One, mermaid mouse ears, just because. So I'm on a mission, right? Like, I think that we should normalize wearing Minnie and Mickey Mouse ears everywhere. Like, my life would be far more joyful if I just wore these all the time. Or I have many pairs of mouse ears, but these are my newest pairs, the mermaid pair. They happen to go very lovely with my background and my hair. Why not? Like, what if I just wore these to the grocery store? I could. Maybe I will. I have never worn mouse ears to the grocery store. I have worn them to an office job, like after I got back from a Disney trip at my previous job. I was having trouble going back to work at a 9-to-5, so I wore mouse ears and took my magic wand to work because I had a Cinderella wand from the trip. See, I've always loved magic wands. I think that's the fun of it though, right? Like, I love going to Disney because I can choose to actively suspend my disbelief and just that the Magic Castle is a magic castle and everything is magical and amazing, and oh, it makes my inner child so happy. So, mouse ears. Other things that made my inner child happy. So, I'm at Target. I'll show you, I got a story. I'm at Target with some friends, and we're shopping, and we're in the toy aisle, and I see a thing called a Pizza Ito, and I was like, what's this? And so it turned out to be one of those blind bag toys. So the blind toys are like a new-ish phenomenon where like there's a bunch in a series, and you're trying to collect them all, but they're all packaged up so you can't see which one inside you're getting. Whoever thought of this as a marketer is really smart, and also like probably is hated by parents everywhere. But I was like, I'm gonna get a Pizza Ito. And they're like, what are you talking about? all you can see from the outside is that you have this like stuffed toy burrito, but a pizza ito, like a calzone, basically, right? And that there's going to be a stuffed toy inside. And I don't know. I was having a hard time. I wanted a pizza ito. And I was like, my inner child demands a pizza ito. So I got one. And then I opened it. And one of the greatest regrets of my life. Possible that's an exaggeration. But I am sad that there is not a video of me opening the pizza ito, because I kind of lost my mind. So I open it up and it's a Velcro thing, and then you get to see what's inside, and it's a ham and pineapple magical narwhal. I lost my mind. Ham and pineapple is my favorite pizza. And I super love narwhals. And like, look at me right now in these ears with this narwhal. I am like the happiest tarot tuber that ever did exist. And I don't know what this has to do with tarot. But here we are. It's favorites. Favorites is all kinds of things. And then I made up a little song about the pizza ito. As well as some other stuffed animals that were in the house. And I'm fighting really hard to sing it right now, and I'm not going to, because it's a pizza ito. But that's the only part I'm singing. I sing all the time. It's like, it's special. But I will tell you that the $10 I paid for my pizza ito was like the best $10 I spent in the past 4 months, because it has brought me so much joy. It sits on my nightstand. I smile every single day at this thing. And it reminds me of the silliness of opening it, because I was like, what is this? And then I was like, oh, it's ham and pineapple. And then I was like, oh, it's a narwhal. So I was just like really excited. Pizza ito. So sometimes you just have to treat yourself. The other really fun thing in this category, this is a shout out. So Julie at Peekaboo Rose, so she has one of my favorite tarot channels out there, and she and I have become fast YouTube friends because we like all the same things. Even though, like, I feel like we have like similar personalities but really different personalities. Well, I don't know. We like all the same things because we're both brilliant and fun. And we both love our inner child, right? So Julie was like, have you seen these toys? So she sent me, and they're open, so they don't have the cute wrapper that was on them. But these were also blind bag toys, and they are the LOL dolls. So when I opened them, like, I have this like rock star baby girl. What is her name? Oh, she's just Rocker. And then they come with little accessories. And then this one, oh my gosh, like she, this was amazing. And I'm kind of freaking out again. Oh, it goes this way. I was trying to put it together. I put it together, why? Because, here we go. This doll dances. So she has this like rocking, dancing head. That's amazing. And then, oh, she doesn't fit in here with her shoes on. Oh, this is a whole drama. Well, without her shoes on, she fits in here, and you can spin it, and she spins around and dances. And it was really exciting. And I opened these with the same friend that I was with when I had the pizza ito. And there is now a rule, after watching me open these, that I am never allowed to open a blind bag toy again. Not on video. So if any other of these kinds of things show up, I will videotape it. But I have to thank Julie because, you know, I think that a lot of people who work with cards and all of these kinds of things, your favorite tarot tubers, like, I think we're more intuitive than the average bear, right? You probably are too, because you're choosing to watch this, so this is a thing that you're into, right? Like, these kind of practices. And I really think a lot of times being extra intuitive is just paying attention, right? But Julie's timing with these, like, she didn't know what I was going through. And I got a message asking for my address, and I sent it to her, and like these showed up on one of like the worst days I've had in the past couple of years. Like, it was like a pretty earth-shattering heartbreak day. And then I open it up and I have like silly toys from Julie. So thank you, Julie. It was well-timed and perfect and totally brought forth so much joy for me, especially on a hard day. So, you know, if you feel a nudge to like reach out to a friend, do it. If you feel a nudge to do something silly, let yourself, because play, super worth it. Okay, we're gonna move on to a new section I am adding to the favorites videos. I added the inner child as a regular segment, and I'm gonna be adding a segment on the crystals that I'm working with that month, or that I love because they're pretty and they're fun and they're powerful. So we're putting them in the favorites video. And what is going on with my hair? Besides the fact that it is pink purple, thanks to someone awesome who put the color in as a birthday gift. This was another birthday gift, was my hair color. So anyway, I'm going to talk about crystals now. So I have 3 that I want to show you. I'll probably going forward just show you 1 or 2, but so the first one, this is a good segue from the silliness, because this is silly. So, and I know it's like, how would crystals be silly, but hang with me. So there was a meme going around for a while that was showing these like rose quartz gold rimmed coasters, essentially. And there was a joke on it that they looked like ham. Like, and there were a couple different variations of it. I will look for it. If I can find it, I will share it. If I can't, I won't, or I don't really want to edit, but I'll think about it. So anyway, but it was like these ham slices, and it was like, oh, I thought this was fancy ham. And like, this becomes a joke in the crystal community. Like, someone will be like, what is this, you know, crystal, and it has like a brown exterior and then it has white crystals growing in the inside, and someone's like, it's a chicken nuggetite. Like, so, you know, sometimes crystals look a little like food. It's weird. But okay, here's the thing. I love ham, like a lot. Like a honey baked ham. And I don't like food. I've talked about this before. It's why I don't have food in my favorites videos, because I don't like food. I don't really like eating. It's a whole thing. That's very complicated, but I love ham. And so I was like, I have to get some rose quartz like that. So, I found one on, I think it was from Rock Paradise. So it is, you know, it's a rose quartz coaster, right? But you can see why people called it that. Like, it does look a little bit like a fancy ham slice. So I definitely call this my ham quartz. I do use it like rose quartz. It has a special place because it is a great like charging plate. It was just, I think, advertised as a coaster or a slice, but it's great as an altar plate for different things I'm working with. But it is my ham quartz, and I love it. And you know, I worked with rose quartz a lot over the last couple months because my heart was hurting, and I love crystals. One of the most fun things for me in the past, like, 4 months, okay, again, this should have been in memories, was I completed through the Love and Light School of Crystal Healing, which is local to Madison, Wisconsin, but global, because it's an online program, but it's where I live, so that was special for me. I completed my certified crystal healer program, and then my advanced crystal practitioner certification. So those were game changers for me in terms of my confidence. They just combined with my Reiki practice and opened all kinds of really powerful spiritual practices for me, using crystals as a touch point for meditation, as a symbol, and quite frankly, as a healing tool. I am a science believer. I take medicine for my MS twice a day. I am getting my second COVID shot tomorrow, and I am excited about that. Everyone can have their feelings, but science and medicine is important to me. But I do think that spirituality is its own other kind of medicine in a lot of ways. And for me, crystals have been like a supplemental medicine, like a balm for my soul and a bit for my body as well. So, ham quartz. Where was I going with that? Oh, just that I really liked getting my certification and I love my ham quartz. I feel like I had another thing to say about that, but getting the certifications was awesome. And I love my ham quartz. I have two other crystal things I want to show you. So this is a Caribbean calcite star, and Caribbean calcite is people are loving it right now. It's super popular. It is a essentially an aragonite that has this really cool blue with, I'm having trouble getting the colors to show up well in camera, with some brown in it, and it just really feels like the ocean. So you can see, can you guys like, there's so much water energy in my world right now with the mermaid ears, I don't know, I'm just feeling it. Anyway, Caribbean calcite star. This was actually a Christmas present from the same wonderful bestie who gave me my rabbit. She's very good at presents. And I love it. But why it's so powerful right now for me in particular, I did a meditation with Athena from Sage Goddess again. And it was using the star and the points of the star to like, as a focal point for kind of releasing and charging up intentions and things that you want to feel, and both things you want to bring in and feel and things you no longer want to feel. And it was a really powerful meditation. And so this star now feels supercharged to me because A, it's gorgeous and feels good and has all that yummy healing energy of a Caribbean calcite. Next, it's extra powered with love because it was from Steph. And then it's extra powered from the meditation. So it just like warms my heart and I love holding it. And it was really fun because it's, lately it's been sitting on my desk by my computer. And so my roommate Liz came down and picked it up and was looking at it. She's like, whoa, this buzzes. And I'm like, I know. So that was really fun. So, you know, again, everybody thinks differently about crystals, but for me, mwah, pure magic. The last crystal thing I want to show, and this actually kind of ties with memories and I guess coming attractions. So I did my first meditative experience using a mala. It was actually like right before I was getting ready to move, and it was really, really powerful. So I used a traditional mala and was working through like Sanskrit mantras with it, following some instruction I found online, and I didn't know. Like, I've seen malas. I have a lot of people who love malas and prayer beads. I had no idea they were so powerful. Like, the stillness of it, right? Like, of the chant, of the prayer. Like, really regardless of what I think the chant is. I think that part can be whatever you want it to be. But working with a mala, and I actually don't have the mala here that I used. I should have, but I have something different to show you. But like with the 108 beads and moving them through my hands, I experienced like really powerful shifts in my body, and that could be because of the meditation, because of the crystals, because of the counting, because of the chants. Like, you could decide, right? Like, we all decide. But it was so powerful, and there was so much beautiful like stillness in it for me, because I am a person who lives life at top speed, right? Like, I am constantly that's not surprising. So the slowness of it, the like repetition and the chant, like the om, 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 om on 108 counts, was so, it was like my whole being was covered in this like watery, light beautifulness. And I felt like, oh, I'm really gonna be okay. So it's just awesome. So that's the memory. Whoa! So much for an edit-free video. My camera decided to stop working, and then I started it again, and then the tripod fell, and then it stopped working again. So this is actually, even though it's like kind of seamless for you, my world all of a sudden just kind of blew up. So hopefully we are back on track. Anyway, I was talking about prayer beads and malas and letting you know that we're gonna make some as part of Determined to Shine. So if you are in any of the Determined to Shine classes and programs, that is coming soon. And if you aren't and you want to be, information is coming soon, or comment, let me know, and I'll send it to you now. Anyway, what I wanted to show you for the last crystal that is part of what I want to show for my favorites video, which I've already shown to the camera 3 times, but you will see for the first time, hopefully, is this gorgeous set of prayer beads that I got that is designed to honor the Greek goddess Hera. Now, we have been working with Hera as part of Ethany's Awakened Soul Coven in April. Many of you know Ethany. She's like an amazing tarot deck creator, and she just has this amazing group. And Hera, you know, Zeus's wife, has always been portrayed as a really vengeful goddess, but because of patriarchy. But this was a really different approach, and it's been really powerful for me, especially on top of kind of this like reawakening of love of Greek mythology that has been happening for me with Circe and this other stuff over the past few months. So I have fallen in love with that. And so I found on Etsy this like gorgeous strand of prayer beads, and they're made of jade, and it has this, you know, peacock, which is one of Hera's symbols, and just really beautiful. So it's got the goddess symbol and then a couple little charms as well. Anything I'm showing you on this screen cannot possibly do this justice. It is powerful and feels very special to me, and I don't need a full mala for this practice, right, for working with Hera, but it, particularly because, you know, working with goddesses, for me, it's a little bit more archetypal and different than like a more traditional prayer, right? But so I just like, there's so much magic in this piece for me, and I have had it out on my altar space for the last month and will continue to for, I don't know, ever. So this is from an Etsy shop called, I think, Old Crone's Doll Shop or something similar. I will find the link and get it in the description. But it came so lovingly packaged. It was in like this box with this big bow, and then I got this beautiful bag, which of course I will use for a deck. And also came with a prayer card for the goddess Hera. And you can actually get these from another Etsy shop, because I have one. So I'll put a link to it in the video below. But it just is really a neat thing. And it was like, this is such, like, there's just so many extra little touches. It also had like a polishing cloth included, along with these just gorgeous jade stones. So I am in love with my Hera mala, and it's really fun, especially like, you guys can't see it, but I have this big peacock tapestry on the other wall aside from me, and it's like the same colors, and I'm so excited right now. Anyway, maybe I'll have to flip the camera around and show you that, or you can see it in another video coming soon. I don't know, but it's just so special. So I hope you like it. I like it. She has them available for all kinds of gods and goddesses from all kinds of pantheons, Norse, Egyptian, and African, I think, and even some that are like just a little more off the beaten path. So definitely check out her shop if you are interested in that. So, okay, I know you want to see card decks. Now it's time. I'm just going to show them to you like this. I'm not going to flip the camera around today because I want it. minimal editing, and because I gotta finish this video so I can go get on the road and go to that old house and pick up a bunch more stuff. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 decks to show you, which actually is fewer than I show you sometimes, but because I have been moving, my practice has been a little more intentional, which means it hasn't had as many pieces involved. So the first one I want to show you is a new deck that I got somewhere in that time. It is an oracle. It is called the Wanderer's Traveling Oracle Deck. And it's by Marika Makula. It's 36 cards. They're quite large. And there's not really a guidebook. There's just a little piece in here with some meanings on it. But I saw this in a group and I fell super, super in love. And I am not one for black and white decks on most days, but I am one for illustrations that sing to my soul and that in some ways can feel like childhood. But I really liked this deck because there's so many layers here. Like, there's so many things going on in every card that you don't even really need the guidebook. Like, I can get messages from this deck, you know, without it. And I just love looking at the art and what's going on for me. I find it to be a really neat pair with certain tarot decks. And it can really go with a lot of decks because it can go with decks that have that more like childlike aesthetic, right? As well as almost any black and white deck or monochromatic deck or whatever you want. I don't know. Like, you could even probably put this with Monstero. I haven't tried it yet. Maybe I'll try that. So I just love it. The cards, again, are big. Like, there's big on my face. But just really, really beautiful. This deck was on Etsy. Oh, I love this card. Look at that. Look at the little guy. It was on Etsy. I will put the links below if I can find them. Otherwise, feel free to search for that on the Etsy. So that is deck number 1. The second deck I've worked with, and I do have a full walkthrough of this deck on the channel, so I will try not to show you the whole thing, is Ethony's Modern Love Tarot. Now, I was just talking about Ethony as the leader of the Awakened Soul Coven, where we were working with Hera, and she's also the creator of this deck. This is a gorgeous 78 card tarot deck, and I just find it to be really beautiful. The art is by Lucy Morningstar. They are oil paintings, so lovingly created. And this is a deck that focuses on love, as it says, but in all forms, in all relationships. And because this was an area that was particularly, I guess, potent for me in the last few months, I found this deck to be ultra healing. I'm loving this Page of Wands. Like, how can you not love her? I'm gonna leave her out and journal with her later. That girl's pretty powerful too. Love my powerful women in my decks. There's some more of them. This deck is just so great. I love everything about it. And it has this amazing chonky guidebook. Look at it. It's full color. Oh my gosh, what a terrible flip through. There's a reason I normally do these top down, right? For every card, Ethony gives you the general love meaning, the single and loving it meaning, the ready for love or dating, committed relationship, struggling relationship, and the end. So you get like quite a lot to work with for every single card, including the minors. And that's so powerful for me because I was in a stage of evolution. And so I really loved being able to have this deck close by. I'm still using it. Also, when you buy this deck from Ethony, you get a little mini companion course. And with that comes a self-love challenge. And this was actually a separate free challenge that Ethony did in February, but that you also get with the purchase of the deck. And that self-love work was really important and powerful with this deck leading up to the changes I made in my life, and kind of finding my feet and feeling strong again. And so don't worry if you do the self-love challenge or play with this deck. It doesn't mean you're going to go through a breakup. It doesn't mean your heart's going to hurt. There's just room for more love of every kind. And I'm all about that. I really believe in bringing forth joy and love and magic and blah. So Modern Love Tarot, I'm here for it. Okay, 4 more. The next deck I'm going to show, and I feel a little bad about this because I am pretty sure it's out of print, and I'm pretty sure she's not going to print it again. This is the Creative Creations Oracle, and this is made by Andrea Gomel Wunsch. I'm not German. It looks like this, and Andrea is a German mixed media artist. I've taken many of her classes, and she is on a spiritual path that mirrors mine. And so she created this oracle deck, and it is so pretty. It was done at like the height of COVID, unfortunately. So what that meant was we had to wait a long time for it to get here, because I shouldn't say it was done at time of COVID. It was printed at the very beginning of COVID. So like she had the decks come in hand right before everything went bad, so she actually just could not ship to the United States for like a long time, and then got it figured out, and it came, and it was worth the wait. You can see these decks, these are the elemental cards. Earth, that was fire. This is water, of course. Again, feeling so watery. I'm just gonna leave that out too. I have some journal prompts for later today, right? Look at this. The Spirit card blows my mind. She is so talented. If you want the deck and it is out of stock, which I think it is, but you never know, I'll put her website below and check. She does make rubber stamps. She makes, she has classes that have art downloads. She has all kinds of really cool things that you can get, like some of her art in your hands, or better yet, get instruction on how to create faces and characters like this. And again, I do have, like, I have a cool stamp set she did that has like a meditating girl with the chakra symbols and the moon phases and things like that. So she has a lot of really great tools to work with. She has a class, I can't remember what it's called, but that does mixed media art projects working you through chakra colors. So it's really cool. So I'm a huge fan of hers. And this deck, why I'm showing it now is because, again, it's a favorites video, and this is what I worked with. I am showing you most of the cards here. This is the card back. So pretty. Because this deck sings to my soul, and I have been in a place where I needed something to sing to my soul, right? I'm gonna switch hands here. And I just found it to be very powerful, and it's just so healing. So that is the Creative Creations Oracle. There is not a guidebook. She does give you a little PDF you can print out, which I did, and I'll show you that in a second. But it's really very minimal in terms of what is on it. And those were some of the seasons from the Wheel of the Year that were there earlier. But she just had a like quick reference and keywords. So I like to keep it in here, but I mostly, again, read this intuitively. But I also just use this as, I use them as cards for reflection and journaling, and even altar cards, like on a water altar. This would be awesome. So that is one of the other decks I super loved. This is like like I said, a soul level deck. I've taken her classes. I love her work. And so when she created an oracle deck, I think I pre-ordered in like the first 5 minutes back in the before times of COVID. Okay, 3 to go. These are the Dance Life Reflection cards by Jenny Nolan Owens, with art by Anna I was going to say sleds, but there are accent marks on there, so I'm certain that's wrong. This was a Kickstarter project I did. It was very under the radar. Like, I didn't see people talking about it, but I have like a very bizarre obsession with ballet and dance. And I say bizarre because I have never, at least in this lifetime, been a dancer. Like, I like to dance, right? And I even like to do like my own, like, you know, what I'll call like an interpretive dance definitely when no one is watching. But I've never been a dancer, and it's the same thing. Like, I'm very obsessed with gymnastics, and I've never been a gymnast. So, I think that the cards in the deck are like really geared towards people who are dancers, which I am in my heart, but not in my body, especially now with MS, but whatever. I love it. That's the card back, which I don't like text on the card backs, but otherwise is beautiful. And here's what some of the cards look like. And so they're various, like, I'm not going to show you all of them because this video is getting long. But like dance positions, and they have the name of the dance pose, and then questions, like journaling questions to go with it, or like a message. I say journaling questions because this says like, I don't know how to pronounce these things. Décoté, what needs putting to one side, and you can see that's a switch to the side. Like this says en face, en face. I don't know. Like I said en face to be that, like, you know, American. We're so bad at other languages sometimes. Hey, her leotard matches my hair. Okay, and it says face things head on, avoid procrastination. So, like, I just, you know, adage, like, take things slowly. Be open with yourself and others. So, I think it's a pretty cool deck if you like dance. If you don't like dance, I don't know that it would work. So this is like a tendu, and that's like a, you know, it says, do you feel stretched? Or can you push even harder to reach your goals? Right? So, it's just, I'm putting that one aside to journal with later. It's that kind of day. Journal with later, but I have to drive. Well, maybe I'll be journaling with them tomorrow. Arabesque, reach out for support, right? So it's just a pretty cool deck. If you want to see more of it, let me know. I could do a whole walkthrough and probably like a meditation experience with this for you guys. I want to start bringing more to my deck walkthroughs than just showing you all the cards. Like, I'd love to bring you, the first couple I did had art exercises with them, and that was really fun, but I found people wanted like either the art or to look at the deck, and so I want to start bringing you more journaling and things, but I think it'd be fun to do that kind of thing. So that is the Dance Life reflection cards. And she does have, you do get a guidebook with it. It has some spreads and an extended message for each card. And kind of talks about like for plie, it says, you know, the card message is, do you need to bend a little further, or can you adjust with and be a bit more flexible? I didn't show you, I can get you the card. I think a lot of you probably know what a plie is. I want to see if I can just find it really fast. If I can't, I will move along, because these are not in order anymore. Well, now I'm just a girl on a mission. Come on, plie, where are you? Where are you? I can't find her. She doesn't want to be found. I don't, sorry, I have no idea what that voice was. There she is. This case literally the last card that was in my stack. Okay, plie. Do you need to bend a little further, or can you be more flexible? And then, so it says, extended message in ballet, plie means to bend. When we execute a demi-plie, we bend our knees and keep our heels on the floor, but we're only halfway there. We can then adapt to taking our heels off the floor so that we can achieve a full plie and create space to go farther. So you can see this is like the demi-plie. and says the rules of the demi-plie are different from a full plie. Excuse me, this is the full. And they change so we can bend farther. In life, sometimes we are so busy following and sticking to the rules, we forget there are other ways of achieving things. If you're finding yourself stuck and not getting anywhere with a project, task, or goal, ask yourself, can you be more flexible? What rules have you set for yourself that you can bend? Those rules could be what's keeping you stuck. Do they still apply? When you're feeling you're stuck, ask yourself, is there something simple I can change? What do I need to adapt or change so I can create more space to keep going and progress even further? So I actually really love that message, and I think it probably speaks to a lot of us, right? Because we're really good as people at creating challenges out of nowhere that don't exist, right? It's so strange. Okay, I have two more to show, and they are both little bitty decks from Rockpool Publishing. This one is the Forest Fae, and it's by Nadia Turner. It's a pretty new deck, and it just comes in this little box that does have a magnetic flap, so as annoying as I thought this box would be, it does tend to stay closed. And there's a couple different companies putting out little tiny message decks right now. I showed a couple in my Mermaid and Ocean Oracle deck collection video I did a couple weeks ago. And so you can see the differences, but I'm loving these from Rockpool. They have just these cute, yet mysterious forest fae creatures on them. So here, let me do it this way. And they have little tiny messages. There is no guidebook, so you're gonna have to tap into your own intuition or your own relationship with the fae, if the fae and forest fae is something you like to work with. Also, I think these would be really, really pretty next to a variety of tarot decks. Like certainly any fae decks, potentially, but absolutely like wooded decks, like the Enchanted Forest, or even like plant decks, right? Like, or anything that has that like earthy energy in it. I just think they're really powerful. So this is Away We Fly. Take the cloud roads, delight in your imagination, right? And so like this, you could again use as a journaling prompt or just allow it to enhance your reading. So I won't show you all of them. I will be doing a forest creatures deck collection video coming up because I have that many decks, you guys, that there's probably going to be a whole one that's just like decks that take place in a forest. I don't know what to tell you. I have one deck left. Chakra Love. It says raise your crystal vibrations. This is by Katie Mankashaw. I did not see this deck coming. And when I say that, I mean, I had seen it here and there. I keep scratching my face, sorry. Isn't that weird how like, sorry, I just had one of those moments where like, you know, I'm just talking with you, we're all being fine, and then you get that like self-conscious, like, oh, I rubbed my face and I know I've been flipping my hair, and self-judgment, self-judgment, self-judgment. If you're judging yourself, turn it off. If you're judging me, that's like a little bit better, but not really, right? I don't need to know, it doesn't bother me, but we gotta stop being mean to ourselves. Ah, goodness. Anyway, Chakra Love. This deck snuck up on me. I saw it a few times. It never sang to me. I wasn't wanting it. It wasn't on my list. I wasn't even really considering it. And then one day it just leapt into my cart for no reason at all. And I think I've used it every day since. So I tried to get these back into color groups. So the backs of them, the back of each card is different, and it's a watercolor drawing of the crystal that it represents on the other side. So I'll show you what I mean in a second. You can see they're a bit in a rainbow there. And that's because these go from chakra to chakra. So we go from the root to the sacral, to the solar plexus, to the heart, to the throat, to the third eye, to the crown. And then there's a final group called the chakra balance cards that are pink. But so we have traditional chakra colors. So like, okay, let's go into the root chakra cards. So you have 5. So there is like security, to feel more secure, deepen your connection with nature. And then it says root chakra and garnet. And in the back is a watercolor illustration of garnet. And then grounding, sink your roots deep, connect them to the heart of the earth. And that's red jasper. And then you see that on the back. And then the remaining cards are safety. Sorry, these are hard to do. I'm going to go top down again next time, probably. I don't know. This is better for me. But safety, strength, and foundation. And then the stones are snowflake obsidian, smoky quartz, and hematite. And then you can see that on the back. And I don't know. Something about these cards, like I love working with crystals and I love working with chakras, but they just seemed kind of like boring. I mean, that sounds terrible, but like they just weren't singing to me. And then one day I had to have them. So like it says letting go. Letting go is not giving up. Sometimes it's the first step towards success. And the stone is carnelian. And then look at that. That's so pretty. So it's like, I love the softness in the card design and the backs. And then the messages are just really powerful. Like I didn't see it coming. You know, destiny, follow your instincts, they lead to the truth. And that is fluorite. And just like, look at that. This like, oh, I like the way these cards look with my backdrop. So it's you know, and these decks, these little rock pool decks, I think they're like $10, $15 tops, maybe. Let me look. Is there a price on here? There is not on that one or that one. I think I paid somewhere between $10 and $15. And they're just so pint-sized and cute, and they sing, and I've been using them against almost every card reading I've done with anything. So what do they pair with? They pair with everything. Not necessarily visually, but with my experiences. So I am going to pull just a little one here as a way to wrap up the, what did I call it? Extreme Favorites video. I know this has been long, so if you have watched the whole thing, you're amazing. And if you haven't, you're still amazing. But we're going to just pull a little bit of a card here, and this is, oops, I dropped one. Okay, sorry. Sometimes cards jump, sometimes I have MS and they leap out of my hands. I just dropped the cards sort of way. So, you know, I think it's just important for all of us to remember that we all get to be an example of, I don't know, like the darkness is temporary. And I say that because I've had a lot of darkness. I talk about that off and on in my videos. You know, I was widowed when I was 31. I got MS when I was 37. And then I had all this stuff happen this year. And sometimes and then there's a pandemic. And, you know, like sometimes we have really hard years. And none of us are immune to that. Like, I think that we like to think that we won't have to struggle. And we all don't have to struggle in the ways that we do struggle sometimes. I really believe we do create a ton of obstacles for ourselves that are completely unnecessary. And stupid self-judgments. Like, why did I itch my face again? Because I have allergies and I live with cats now. No, I don't know. The cats aren't really bothering me. They're so cute, actually. If I think of it, I'll put right there. So if there's a picture there, I did it right. If there's not, I'm just pointing at nothing. My dog Gracie, that many of you know and love, has become best friends with a cat who lives here named Juniper. And they're so cute. Aren't they cute? So cute. Okay. The only thing constant in our life is change, right? And so wherever you are in this moment, just know that it's just a stop along the way. So if things are hard, keep going. Like, there was an old country song, not old, that old, but old, like, I don't know, 10 years ago. That is kind of old. I don't know, maybe it was like 8, I don't know. Anyway, the line in the song, if you're going through hell, keep on going. Like, you might get out before the devil even knows you're there. And I don't really believe in the devil, except as a tarot card and an archetypal energy of the tarot card. Oh, I'm such a weird girl. But, that's not self-judgment. I say that with self-love. I'm sorry, I'm tired. Just the idea that, like, we just need to keep going and everything's going to be okay. So that said, what message does our chakra card deck have for us today? It is strength. It says strength comes from your connection to the root of your being. And the stone it gives is that smoky quartz, which I always say is the absorber of all the things annoying and bad. So put out some smoky quartz, and just anytime you're feeling negative, like throw the thoughts at the crystal and let it just absorb those for you. It's fine. I love you guys. You're amazing. It's a weird, hard world, but we're gonna be okay, you and me, all of us together in a happy world. I don't know. I'm a weird girl. I love you. Normalize wearing mouse ears. And go make today. Are these backwards? Huh. Don't normalize wearing mouse ears backwards. Go make today awesome. Whatever awesome means for you. Thank you for listening to all of this. Mega favorites. Ultimate favorites. Next time, I will try to do better. And I will see you at the end of May with my next favorites video, but I will see you much sooner than that with lots of super fun stuff coming up. If you didn't watch the BuzzFeed Oracle walkthrough that I posted a day or two ago, watch that because it's hilarious. And also I make weird promises. And the end of that video is like a favorite memory because that deck all came together and like spoke to my soul at the end when I was just babbling, which is so often how the universe works. So that said, I'm going to stop the babble. I'm going to send you some love. If you liked the video, like the button, leave me a comment, subscribe, of course, if you want to. Check the box below for all the links you need for everything, and have an amazing day. You are awesome, and may you always be determined to shine.